Welcome back to the Mind Your English podcast. My name's Chris.
And my name is James.
We speak slow, we keep it real. Two native speakers, clear British English. How are you doing, James?
Not too bad, Chris. It's Friday. How are you doing?
Friday.
Friday, and the body knows it, as they say in Spanish.
Do they?
Yeah.
Es
viernes y el cuerpo lo sabe.
I have been out all day recording, and that's why I'm looking very pinkish today. Very, very red like a tomato.
Very sun-kissed.
That's a nice way to put it. I quite like that sun-kissed rather than just burnt like a shrimp.
Like a cherry, yeah. Like a shrimp.
I feel, my face is burning.
Yeah, you're sun-kissed. So today's topic is hot takes. And, well, what is a hot take? Chris, you explain. What's a hot take?
A hot take is a controversial opinion. Something that you believe that other people might believe to be the opposite. So, for example, coffee is better than tea, or tea is better than coffee. There's a lot of people out there who probably think the opposite of one of those.
Yeah. And take, well, the verb take means to take something, but also as a noun, a take can mean an opinion. So a hot take is like a burning opinion. That's what it's all about. So, shall we begin with your first hot take? Well, we have two kind of light-hearted ones, not very serious topics, and then we have two that are more philosophical, let's say. So, if you want to go first, Chris?
Yeah, well, my one is universally known. This is one that's being this is one that has been debated since the birth of man, since the dinosaurs. It is pineapple on pizza. Yay or nay? Good or bad?
The hot take of all hot takes. Ooh. The daddy.
I personally love it.
Really?
Yeah. Had one the other day.
Where do you draw the line? Where do you say, okay, this doesn't go on pizza?
There's a lot of stuff I saw in Japan which is a bit funky, like strawberry on pizza. Whoa, that is not. It's just, it's pineapple is like, it's a cheeky one. It shouldn't be there. I get that, right? It looks a bit weird, but it is very refreshing. Whereas like other fruit on pizza or anything else,
it's not quite the same.
Just doesn't really work. It kind of gets all soggy and stuff. Pineapple doesn't get soggy. It keeps its like sort of form. It gets a little bit hard, and then it has that sort of freshness which is a good complement to the savoury ingredients, or the ham usually, or the tomatoes. It's lovely.
People say that. I mean, it's the same thing with watermelon. Is it watermelon? No, it's honeydew melon and Spanish ham. They do that.
I've never heard
so
that.
So how is this any different? Yeah, they have it on a fork. They have like chunks of melon, and they have jamon around it. So if you can do that, then why can't you put pineapple on a pizza?
Yeah, I had one the other day in Madrid, and I really liked it. I thought it was great.
What, the watermelon with the ham on?
No, sorry, pineapple
on pizza.
Yeah.
The Hawaiian.
It's not something I would normally go for, but the person I was with didn't like spicy food or spicy things, so I couldn't get the diavola or daviola, whatever you call it.
Diavola.
How is it?
I don't know. I think it's diavola, but I think it just means devil in Italian, but I'm not sure.
I couldn't get that one because they weren't into the spiciness of it, so I was like, well, what do you want? And they said the Hawaiian, so I was like, well, all right, I'm not too bothered. I had it, and I was like, that hit the spot. It was perfect.
I think it's something that people don't want to admit is good because it's just weird, but it does seem good. I would try it. I've never tried it, to be honest. I've never had a Hawaiian pizza, but I would like to try.
What do you think about the Italians and their sort of their rules and their ways?
Well, some of it makes sense. The pasta cooking laws are there for a reason. Like, you don't snap the spaghetti because you want the spaghetti to be long. I wouldn't put pineapple on an Italian pizza. I think that would be really weird. But an American-style pizza, yes. I think that's fine. So, yeah, I think the rules exist for a good reason.
Yeah, I think that one is just them being a bit snobby.
Sometimes, yeah. Like, when does a rule become a snobism? When does it When does it make sense?
Well, it's just, explore to some degree. Dishes are there to be adapted.
Evolved. Adapted. And then they get really mad at that. They say, yes, but don't call it a pizza. Call it something else. And say, well, it's still a pizza.
So yeah, I think it's for me it's a good thing. I like it. I don't see anything wrong with it. What's your silly Billy take?
My silly Billy hot take is every group holiday should have a designated leader or dictator. Democracy spoils trips. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm trying to think when it gets a bit annoying on a trip. I was in Ibiza recently with 15 guys, and that was problematic at times because I think the main time it became a bit of an issue when you sit down to eat, and it does seem to take a while to order. You kind of have to organize people, or you have to arrange the time to meet. People don't arrive on time. Then other people would arrive early. You're always trying to get them to come down from their rooms. And then you get to the restaurant, you're trying to order. Someone's not ready. Maybe they want to share. Maybe they want to get their own stuff. So it's just a little bit of a mess.
A nightmare.
Really.
I think that's just too many people. 15 is a big number. It would be a big number of anything. So yeah. I think it depends on the type of trip you want to do. If you're okay with going on your own and splitting up. I've done this with my friends before, where two of us would go to this part of town or this to do this thing, and then two of us would do this. That's fine. But when it comes to the other, like if you just want to give all the responsibility to one person, it probably will work better. Especially when everyone's trying to decide on where to go, and they're like, I want to go here, but I want to go here. And people miss out. You don't have to think about it.
Don't you feel that a natural leader naturally appears in terms of...
I think there's always conflicts. If there's no agreement on who it is or what we do, people are always like, no. And I've had this experience before where we tried to suggest something, and then there was always one or two people from the group that said, no, we don't want to do that. So it just became, again, chaotic, and it's what caused the split. I don't think it's that deep, to be honest. I think I agree with the idea, but it depends on the friend group.
Yeah, I just feel like one person normally takes up the role, and then the rest of them kind of fall into line, or maybe a couple of people take up the role and everyone else is just more laid back. It just naturally happens, in my opinion.
True. Well, less of a controversial take than pineapple on pizza, it seems.
For us.
For us, yeah. What about your most serious one? Your, more philosophical hot take. What is it?
I think this is one that a lot of people have asked me personally, or a lot of students of mine have asked me personally. Who should I study with? A native speaker or somebody who speaks my language? And it's a tricky one. There's a lot to it. But this hot take is native speakers aren't always the best teachers. Anything come out of your little brain box?
My little brain box. I think I agree depending on the situation. So being a native speaker doesn't necessarily make you a good teacher. That's true. So sometimes starting with a teacher who speaks your language and can give you a base in English or whatever language you're studying is a good idea, because a native might not know the stuff that you'll struggle with, but also once you get to a certain point, like past intermediate, I found it very, very few and far between the non-natives who can really get a feel for English and really know the little differences between things. And I think at that point, you need a native speaker who's also a teacher. What do you think, Chris?
I think I've had the perfect moment or the perfect experience to see the difference side by side, because when I did the CELTA, I had a lot of Russian, Georgian, other countries, I can't remember now, that a lot of teachers from other places that came to Oxford to do the course, and then there were also native speakers. And it was quite clear to see what the advantages were. Like, basically, grammar was explained a lot better by the non-natives because they had learnt it themselves. They could basically tell the students in an easier way or a clearer way how to use it or why this is how it is. Whereas the nuance between certain words, or let's say collocations, is something really, really tricky to get, even if you're very fluent. I think it's something you really don't understand unless you've had a lot of experience or you fully immerse yourself in a country for a long time that speaks English or any language. And yeah, so for me, it's just, it depends what you're looking for. Or I would say it probably depends who you are. So for me now, I would always go with a native speaker because I know it's going to be difficult in the beginning. It's going to be a steep learning curve, but I'm okay tolerating that. Whereas I think some people might lose their motivation, so it's better to go with a person that speaks their language to kind of encourage them and then cross over at an intermediate level. You don't want to be with a teacher who speaks your native language when you're when you're B2. I just don't. I think you should be pushing yourself to speak all the time in that language.
Yeah, I think I absolutely agree. And to add on top of what you were saying, I agree with you now. I would do the same thing. So now if I was learning another language, I would speak to a native all the time. But I think if we have any advice for English specifically, because people who are watching us are learning English, once you get to the point where you can express yourself, you're more or less what we would call fluent. You know, you can converse and have a chat with anybody and get your meaning across. But you feel like, okay, I'm not at the native speaker level. Like, there are things that I don't understand still and I don't sound so fluid. That's the point when you need a really good native speaker. And I say that because a lot of my students, they get to a B2 level or a C1 level, and then phrasal verbs hit them, compound nouns hit them, like having to explain the concept of like green moving machine mesh spitting out mobile. Like that kind of pushing words together, they just don't understand that and they can't do it. So at that point, I think you need someone who's really, really good, and they have to be native unless they really know their stuff.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when you get to that sort of level, let's say again B2 plus or B2 and above, if there is some sort of grammar that the native speaker explains to you and it just doesn't make sense, at that point you do have to just get to the point where you just accept that's how it is, and the more you surround yourself with that grammar, whatever it is, eventually it just makes sense. Rather than thinking, why does it not make sense? Why is it like this? Why is it like that? Because
sometimes the answer is just because,
and you're wasting time on trying to make everything make sense. In the beginning, yes, of course, try to make it relate to your own native language to some degree to kind of give you that base. But in the end, just there's loads of things in Spanish that are just like, oh, I don't really know how to explain it now, but I can use it. So
exactly. Yeah, I remember having the same thing with subjunctive. I mean, sometimes it makes sense. Other ways, no. Sometimes I'm like, why are you using subjunctive here? But
it's just best to remember
if you
it.
just remember that, it's used. And also when you listen to natives and you parrot them, you copy them, you'll kind of get a feel. You'll use the grammar properly because you've copied the native speaker.
It will make sense eventually.
Yeah. And even if it doesn't, you'll probably just use it without realizing it. Yeah. You'll probably just go, okay, well, that's how it is, and your brain will adapt.
Trust your brain to make it make sense. It will. Just be patient.
Our brains are language machines. That's the thing, you know? We learn ours when we're babies, so that's what they're good at.
What's the last hot take then?
The last hot take of the day. Well, mine is, again, quite philosophical. Free time is the real 21st century luxury. So not Gucci things, not Rolex watches, but free time is the real luxury.
You go first, because I'm not really feeling too hot on this one. I don't have anything jumping out at me. I do have a few opinions, but they're not very spicy. So you go first. Well,
I think, again, I always give the worst answer. It depends on who you are.
Get off the fence.
But I think it... Yeah, I'm a fence sitter. A fence sitter is someone who can't make a decision. They're sitting on a fence in the middle. They can't go left or right. Well, I think for me, free time is the most important thing because work is almost always not your choice. And so if you're working really hard to be able to pay for luxury things, like physical things, having nice things is nice. But at a certain point, time is the only thing you can never get back. You can make more money, but you can never make more time. So I agree. I would much rather have more free time than anything luxury. but that's just me. I'm a very much like, what's the word?
Bloody hippie.
Bloody hippie, exactly. But yeah, then it's not that important to me. What do you think, Chris? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I think freedom and having the freedom to choose what you want to do when you want to do it is the ultimate win. Is the ultimate sort of prize, and that's why rich people are rich. I think. Well, probably power as well, but the biggest thing I would say is that they just want to be able to do what they want to do when they want to do it, rather than I have a 9 till 5 Monday morning I have to work. Sometimes I'm working like a Friday night on my own things at 1 a.m. in the morning, and that might sound depressing to some people, but sometimes I think, like, I can hear people outside and I think, oh, everyone's going out, what am I doing? But then it's like, well, I have all the motivation right now, I want to use it, rather than like have the motivation on a Sunday, but you can't use it because you have to wait till Monday, that's when you're working. So I like the fact that I can work on Friday night, and then Tuesday and Wednesday I can take off because I just don't have the energy or I don't feel like doing it. So
that's exactly what it is. That's exactly it.
I think that's a really big luxury to have.
The freedom to be able to choose when you want to work. Yeah, because some people just get that, you know. I definitely get massive bursts of energy in the evening. And why not do an hour of work if you really want to? If it's for your own thing, then it feels good. You can always go out. And then, on a Wednesday or a Tuesday, you can go to the park when nobody's there. So you don't get bothered by the big crowds and you get to enjoy yourself.
Exactly.
We've solved it. We've solved the problem. But I also think there's a counter argument, just to make it like fair, that a 9 to 5 also gives you the freedom of being able to switch off completely. So some people just want the clock out. We call it clocking in when you get to work and clocking out when you leave. So they get to clock out and just forget about it, move on. Doesn't exist until tomorrow. Doesn't exist until the weekend's finished. And that's also cool.
That is also pretty cool.
Depends on what you want.
Depends on you.
Back to the original answer.
Hot take. We don't have one.
There's no such thing. It depends on you.
Depends on you. Let us know your hot take in the comments below.
Comment below and let us know your hot takes, your opinions on our hot takes, and any other opinions. Anything you want to say.
Get spicy.
Whatever you like. Get spicy. Get crazy.
Now, it's time for Idiom of the Week.
Bam, 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 bam.
So, Idiom of the Week is to grab the bull by the horns. And James is going to explain what it means.
Well, it means when there's an opportunity, you should take it and go for it. Give it everything you've got, all your energy. Grab the bull by the horns and do the thing with all your might, with all your energy.
Exactly.
Go and get it. Grab the bull by the horns.
Exactly.
Take this opportunity while it's hot. Also, strike while the iron is hot. If you've ever heard that one, it's very similar.
Nice. All right, 2 for 1.
2 for 1 today. For free.
All right, so that's everything for this week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your lovely hot takes, James. And
yours, Chris, too.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.